Hello, in this video I would like to show you how to set up Oauth in Intercompany Insights. We can split setup into 3 points. The endpoint card in Business Central, then registration app in Azure Portal, and Azure Active Directory application in Business Central. So I am going to Intercompany endpoint list, and I will create new endpoint for Kronos Denmark. So Kronos Denmark Azure Active Directory. Then web service address is of course exactly the same, so I can copy it from my notepad. Then we have to switch authentication type to Azure Active Directory, and then you can see 3 new fields: tenant ID, client ID, and client secret. Tenant ID can be copied from URL, is here. Client ID and client secrets, those information are taken from registration app from Azure Portal. We have to enable this endpoint as well. Okay, so now I can switch to the Azure portal. So here I have to go to Azure Active Directory, app registrations, new registration. I have to specify the registration app name, so Insights. Then a supported account type can be single tenant, multi-tenant. I will choose single tenant. And then redirect URI here is optional, but to use the registration app to authenticate our endpoint, we have to specify platform web and specific address. I am copied it and paste from my notepad. However, you can find it in our module documentation. Then I have to register this app. So my new registration app is here. I can copy application ID from overview page and switch back to the endpoint and paste in the client ID. Then I'm going back to the Azure, go to certificates and secret, where I will generate new client secret. So I'm using new client secret action. Then I can specify the expiration date of this key, of this secret. So add, and I am copying the value. It's important to copy it now because when I will go to different page and go back, the value will be masked and will be not possible to copy it. So again, copy the value, go back to the Business Central, to the endpoint card, and paste on the client secret. Then I'm going back to the Azure portal, and last step to set up is API permissions. So I'm going to API, add permission, Business Central, application permissions, because they are that will be permission work in the background. So without the process is working in the background without user interaction. So it's not delegated, it's application, where we have to specify API read write all and automation read write all. Those roles are included in the access token. So this is the permission between the registration app and Business Central. So add permission. And the last step here is to grant admin consent. So if you are on the admin account, you can do it now. If not, your admin has to do it. So I'm grant this permission. It's granted. Okay. Then I can go back to my endpoint card and try this connection. I expected to have unauthorized error. Yes. It's because we have missed last place to set up, which is Azure Active Directory application. So I am going to Azure Active Directory applications, create new one. So this is used to, when registration app give access, give the intercompany access to the web service. The system should know which permission should be granted. So you can define them here. So in the client ID, we have to paste our Azure registration app ID. So I am going back to the Azure portal, to the overview, and I am copying the application ID and paste here. Then the description, insights. And the next step is to grant consent. So I have to use grant consent actions. Then I should log in for the admin account. Here I see the permissions, so full access to web service API, full access to automation, accept. And the consent was given successfully. The last step is to define permission. So I will define the user group full access for Kronos Denmark, full access for Kronos Germany, and full access for Kronos Poland. Then last step, I will include here in the permission sets the insight permission set. Actually, two permission sets. So insights and insights data. Good. So now I am going back to the insights endpoint card, and I will use test connection, and it's successful. Of course, I created new endpoint card. However, of course, you can use existing one and just switch the authentication type to Azure Active Directory and specify all parameters. Thank you.